Hey, what's good, everybody? Welcome to the Black Phoenix podcast with your host MC and TR. TR, how you holding up?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good over here.
Let's get it, man. I'm already feel some type of way. The Huskers and Tampa Bay lost. Let's get it.
Oh, well, yeah, that's you know how Baker is. Baker will definitely hurt you. He is good when he needs to be bad, and he's bad when he needs to be good. Unfortunately, that's Baker. So
Yeah, that secondary made a rookie look like John Elway today. That's what it was.
yeah, I'm just glad the Eagles won today because they're not putting points on the board like they should be, but win is a win.
We play next week.
Oh yeah. We're gonna be on that. All right, everybody, we're going to get right into the show. And the one that's dominating the headlines is the whole Diddy situation. And we're going to have a lot of thoughts on that. So let's get a preview on let's get an update on where we're at with Diddy.
Sean Diddy Combs, aka Puff Daddy, has been denied bail after being charged with sex trafficking, racketeering conspiracy, and prostitution transportation. This is an educational video, I promise. We already know that for violent crimes such as murder, bail can be denied because of how violent the nature of the charge is. But this is not a murder charge. This is a sex-related charge. So instead of focusing on the charge itself, the judge focused on the person who was charged. Specifically, the judge relied on this 2016 video of the defendant clearly abusing his then girlfriend, stating that it shows he has violent tendencies. So the judge took these tendencies, coupled with the fact that he owns several AR-15 type weapons, and the fact that he has also contacted witnesses in his previous civil litigations against him. All of that was taken into consideration when the judge ruled that he would be a danger if he was released bail, which is the reason why he was denied. Be sure to follow and subscribe for more.
Oh, man. Diddy. I think a lot of times people, well, we know what we know about Diddy is that he is someone that has just been in the news for all the wrong reasons as of the last 10 years. And Diddy, this is the chickens coming home to roost. I don't think no one's coming out to be on Diddy's side. I think initially people did have problems with the whole Diddy and Cassie lawsuit just because how long or how they got there to get the lawsuit on the table, and then also why did she wait so long? And then also conversations if she assisted with any of the Diddy freakoffs. But for them denying bail, that's insane. I heard he put up like $50 million.
Look, I try to review the facts, keep my emotions out of this. So let me tell you what I do know.
Yeah.
I have never, ever met anyone or heard from anyone that was employed by him that said that they were treated fairly, that they were paid fairly, and that they were appreciated fairly.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody that used to associate with him is miserable in life. So right away, there's character issues from the jump. That's number one. Number two, we saw the video, man. We saw what he did to Cassie in that video. So that's another character thing, right?
Sure.
I don't. Cassie could have did something to him to piss him off that much, but
well, real quick, I heard. Well, not heard. This was a conversation. I forget where this was, what podcast this was, but Diddy's lawyer. It was his lawyer. That's what it was. His lawyer came out and said that Cassie had like hit him in the head and stormed out of the room while he was like about to get into the shower. And I'm not justifying any of that stuff because if you hit somebody, they're going to probably come after you or do something to you. And what he did to her was a bit excessive, especially like with the bags and dragging her. I'm like, I don't know how Diddy thought this was going to go for him. But also, I got more questions about why did this video become unearthed after she filed that lawsuit? Like, that's just mind-blowing to me. So who was sitting on this information and then decided to like, this is the best time to unearth this video? Because we weren't going to hear anything about this had it not been for that the Adult Survivors Act in New York that allowed Cassie to go back how many ever years to file charges against Diddy. Like, we weren't going to have this conversation had it been for the Adult Survivors Act. But again, why was that video hidden? And I know people are going to say, well, Diddy had people, but again, why did Diddy like? I mean, did those people not care now? Did those people like, hey, I don't have to worry about anything, and so I'm gonna just put the video out there to clear my conscience? That makes no sense to me.
I think I call this the I think it's a dog whistle, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna use Deshaun Watson as an example. The first lady that came forward and went after him with a lawsuit, immediately, lots of other women jumped in on that too. And
Sure.
let me be clear, for those who were abused and were victims, my heart is with you. I hope you get the justice and peace that you see. But I don't believe when I see these lawsuits and a whole bunch of people start to jump in on these lawsuits,
Mm-hmm.
somebody's lying, man. Not all of them. I think some of them just want a quick money grab.
Sure.
But and honestly, if that is the case, if what I'm saying is true, then you're being disrespectful to real women that are going through real problems like this. But this seems to me like a dog whistle that got a lot of people to jump on the money train and try to
Yeah.
get a quick bag.
So what do you think about Diddy or the judge in the Diddy case denying him bail? Like he put up $50 million. He put up property. He even said something silly like, I won't have any contact with women. I'm like, I don't think that really helped your case, guy. I think your lawyer or whoever gave you that advice was really giving you poor advice, because saying you don't want contact women, I mean, it was at the Deshaun Watson defense. And now that you brought that up now.
I think my only takeaway is keep me the hell out of any courtroom in New York, because I've seen how they treat people, and then they'll turn around and try to turn it into I'm putting on my cape for protecting old women.
Yeah.
And I don't think you should actually be an advocate like that if you're a judge or a lawyer for that matter. But look, the guy's scummy. He has friends who are scummy. And I would imagine at some point, and I think the reason why there's so much scrutiny with this is Jeffrey Epstein's style. I think he has a list of clients or people that participated in these freak-offs. And I've heard some rumblings that it goes all the way up to New York-based politicians. So I think there's more layers to uncover here, and I don't even think he's the person that they're really going after. So I'm waiting to see how this plays out.
I thought it was a bit strange when they raided his home, and then all of a sudden there's no information after that. Like that blew my mind that Diddy got more charges than the second Trump assassination or shooter.
Right.
That how does he get how does he get less charges than that person? And we still don't, I mean, that's a whole nother conversation. But with Diddy getting these 3 charges, from what I read on there and what I've heard as well too, anything could be considered, trafficking now. It's almost like the trafficking definition has changed. It's become like if you fly a chick out, you can get hit with trafficking charges. If you have some type of exchange of money or some type of financial gain, or maybe you say you're going to pay for, one way in, and, if you don't perform, one way out or something, that can be all considered trafficking. And I know they won't go after every person, but if you're a celebrity or someone with some status or something, it's easy to throw in trafficking charges. So for a lot of folks, I mean, the people that like to get flew out, that's over. That's done. You won't be getting flowed out anymore. You got to get that on your own dime or come to the city.
So, first of all, they found 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lube. What is this Negro doing?
Yeah,
I can't get past that. The other thing is, I think.
Well, real quick, I look. I can. Okay, if I'm Diddy, you could probably explain away the lube. Like if you honestly, I think a lot of celebrities probably got lube and all those crazy toys and whatever, just because they're celebrities. They always gonna have a harem of women around. So I think you can get away with that. I don't know about the baby oil. That's just, I mean, unless you got some type of endorsement deal with Johnson & Johnson, I just don't get it. I don't know what you can do.
I'll take it even further. There's only 2 types of people that need that much lube. If you're dealing with a woman who can't get going down there anymore without some help, or if you prefer to be in the presence of other men.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I'm not saying that's the case here, but one of them things got to be true. You don't need that much lube, man.
Diddy has definitely put himself in a terrible situation. And once you go on the radar, once you upset the powers that be, once you become a target, because remember, Diddy was on the Democrat side. Remember that vote or die campaign that he pushed out? He was like, in the front of it, trying to get Barack Obama, and then he got a key to the city in New York. I mean, so everyone was loving Diddy until now. And it's just really weird that had it been for the Adult Survivors Act, which they use to weaponize against Trump, because E. Jean Carroll said Trump assaulted her back in 2010, but she didn't know the date. There's a whole conversation that people will definitely overlook. And if I'm being really true about, or I mean, if I'm gonna be honest about this is how a lot of black men got arrested. Is that someone said something happened, to you, and you get locked up no matter what. And so if you fast forward, it's kind of like it's working in reverse, or it's coming back again, because now you have people like someone like Diddy, this case doesn't come to fruition unless we have that Cassie lawsuit, which Diddy could have settled that Cassie lawsuit. And I don't know if that tape even comes out. That's the crazy thing. He dropped, as soon as that tape dropped, he dropped the money, and then you start seeing all the victims. So this thing definitely it doesn't smell right, and then also it comes across like there's just like a whole system behind it where they're trying to go after and make an example out of Diddy. So he's a celebrity. He put himself in that situation. Nobody's making any excuses for him, but also if they're going to make an example out of Diddy, then who else won't they make an example out of? Because this is insane.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that I think, and I'm gonna take this back to Deshaun Watson for just a second, because what people aren't talking about with him, because this is kind of similar, is that he's winning most of his appeal lawsuits, and he's winning on the basis of text message consent. When you text to somebody that you're about to smash or mess with for the night, you need to specifically say, hey, look, this is what I'm calling you over here for. Are you cool with that? Yes or no? Keep it moving. You need, and of course, there are those people that think consent can change at any given time, but at least you have some sort of way to defend yourself if you got some sort of conversation somewhere where it's shown that everything was good to go.
Yeah. Yep, definitely. So essentially, when it comes down to like the Diddy case, I think Diddy is going behind bars for a long time. I don't think he's ever going to get out of prison, because if you look at what they did to R. Kelly and Bill Cosby, they actually broke the law for Bill Cosby. That I do remember. I didn't really stay on top of the Bill Cosby was breaking the law too. But the crazy thing is, Bill Cosby had a I guess what do you call those things? He had a previous conversation or something. He had a deal, essentially. He had a deal with them, telling them like, hey, I'll tell you, I'll cop to these crimes, and you can't arrest me for them, which is a crazy deal that they put forth in front of him, but it is what it is, I guess. So, but they used that deal against him in another rape allegation, and so that's why he was released. And people were like, "Oh my God, justice wasn't served." No, they broke the law, is what they did, and the prosecuting team should have known that. They should have known that deal was in place, but they decided to. They didn't care. So that's in R. Kelly. The whole thing with R. Kelly, I think, is still kind of weird though. But I know minors are involved, so can't dive too much into that though, because it's like once you got minors involved, it's a wrap. So. People say that with Diddy, but I haven't heard anything, any minor conversation come up though. But I wouldn't be surprised, like, because you know how these the Hollywood established elite, how they roll. So
I have no sympathy for anybody who commits crimes against kids, and nothing has been confirmed here in that regard yet. But the truth will come out at some point.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, we're gonna wrap that up and go to the next topic. All right, next topic is going to be Brittany Renner and her latest social media posts. Well, Brittany Renner, who recently converted to Islam, is also talking about how she doesn't want any money anymore. Any thoughts on Brittany Renner before we get into this, MC?
Super chameleon, going viral again.
Yeah, yeah. People will do a lot of things to go viral, especially she had that Charleston White interview, and that was like a whole nother level of like craziness that occurred. And she almost got into a fight on that one, and then she got into another fight with Pearl. This stuff is insane, and I don't know what it is with
Technically,
Brittany Renner.
technically, an essay occurred during that interview too. I mean, she tried to sit on the
True.
married man's lap, and he said no, and
Yeah.
she tried to do it anyway. But I guess essay is okay if it's a woman doing it to a man.
Yeah, it's interesting. I know a lot of people would be like, "Oh, you ain't gotta worry about it." Hey, try let let that happen, and you do something. To, let Brittany Renner sit in your lap, and you try to do something other than like, "Hey, get out of my lap." I promise you, they will all be will be arrested, or the police gonna be up like on their door knocking in, like, "Hey, did you grab her in an inappropriate way?" Well, no, but she sat on my lap, so I had to do something about it. Like, all right, you're going to jail. You're always going to go to jail in these situations. So, but yeah, let's watch our latest clip.
First of all, Allahu Akbar. I've gone through a lot of changes internally, and as a result, my outer world has completely crumbled.
Okay, real quick, does she look off? Like, is she well?
She might be cleansing, man. I've suspected there may be some extracurricular substances involved with her, but I never confirmed it, so I'll say it allegedly.
Mm-hmm.
But look, man, here's what I could tell you about spiritual walks. I'm not a Muslim, but I know many and I have respect for the religion. Sometimes when you're walking with God, He's going to destroy everything that was around you and rebuild you up better. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
clearly she's got a past. She bragged about it quite a bit. She's known for, she knows how to trap certain quote unquote high value men, even though Kevin Samuels said athletes aren't high value.
Sure.
So she's basically restructuring her whole life. So all of her income streams are bound to dry up and change. She's
Yep.
going to have to just walk through the process. Now, I'm saying all this assuming that she's serious about her spiritual walk, and I hope that she is for her and her child's sake. It's just going to take some time. Just keep grinding it out and put your faith in God, and you'll be fine. But in the meantime, like most people, myself included, we all have things that we're trying to get past and rebuild from. And that's a process. It's not going to happen overnight. Hopefully she comes out with a great testimony and she's really into this Muslim religion that she's practicing.
Yeah. This is definitely another grift by Whitney. So we have a whole
It's a grift.
It's definitely a grift. We have a whole list of examples of Brittany Renner just doing whatever she needs to do. And when she didn't get that back from PJ Washington, she was definitely like, "Oh man, I might have to go back to work." I think she was getting like 2,500 or 3,000 or something. That ain't enough money. That ain't enough money to raise. That's barely enough money for a human. You could get by with 3,000 a month. It ain't gonna be fun. It ain't gonna be like having a party, but you can get by. But with the kid, man, she should give the kid back to PJ Washington, which I know a lot of people don't ever think that or think that she should do that. But because of the law on the cap on child support, that's why she's not getting the money that she thought she was going to get. And PJ Washington, even though he got flamed for knocking up Brittany Renner, who was a known 3 or 4 in the industry, he got flamed for it, but he's starting to look like he might be the winner. I mean, he married another IG model too, which is mind blowing to me, but they can do what they want to do. But the 3,000 a month, that ain't enough. And she's trying to, like, even with this video, she got almost like 1,000 views. So she's definitely got to put out content to keep some of the money in. She should probably just go to some type of brand endorsement. But I don't know if her brand is tarnished to a point where she can't even do any stuff like that, because she honestly, Brittany, I thought she would have made way more money after the whole Shannon Sharp thing. And being a basketball player's baby mama, that's going to make you famous. I mean, that'll get you in the headlines, but it might bring another, potential baby daddy your way. But I think a lot of these men, that these circles that she is, they already know her. So they've already, hey, you're off the list. But as far as like the way she fumbled everything, she mismanaged not only her cap, but she mismanaged like her financial opportunity as well too, because she should have made way more money. I'm not saying she got to like, take some clothes off or anything, because there's plenty of women that are on, OF or other social media sites that they don't take clothes off, and they still get all that money. They still getting clicks and everything. And she does get clicks though, but I mean, obviously it's not paying the bills.
So I'm gonna disagree with something you said earlier. The 3,000 ain't enough. The child support is supposed to be for the child.
I agree.
And her child is very, very young. If $3,000 is not enough to take care of a child on a monthly basis, you might be doing parenting wrong.
Yeah, no, 3,000 is she said that's all she's getting, and so she has no other income coming in. She ain't working.
Well, see, this is my smoke for women that put men on child support. The money is for the kid. You still got to go get your own. I'm taking care of it, and I don't pay child support, but I know a lot of people that do. 3,000 is plenty for a little kid. I think her kid is fairly young. She got to take care of herself, though. So I think when a lot of people look at child support, they look at it as alimony. It's not for you. It's for the kid. 3,000 is a lot. Now, if she's like, I don't know where she lives. If she's like living in California or something, you might want to reconsider, because 3,000 ain't much there. But here's my other part. And I want to be fair to her, because I see value in women like her. And I think she can, I'll use this. Do you remember when she spoke at Jackson State? And she spoke to all those men like, look, this is how we pick out the marks. This is how we figure out who's a trick and who's easy to manipulate. This is how we find your stats. This is how we calculate what your future expected earnings will be, so we can target you.
Mm-hmm.
Take that conversation on the speech circuit, and any coach that cares about his players will bring her in to talk. That's how you get your money. But like most of us, she got to figure it out for herself. Your 3,000 is going to take care of your kid. Now go out there and get yours. But again, I hope she's serious about this religion, this Muslim walk that she's on. But if she is, it'll work out. She'll find a way. If not, you don't have to be creative. You have to get it out the mud, just like everybody else.
Hey, for real. Let's get back to it.
Whoa! Wow. Incredibly uncertain in just about every area.
It's a nice car.
In my life, I have no idea where I'm going to live or how I'm going to provide for my son. But Allah has moved mountains for me, and I trust that this will be no different. I feel like Alice when she ate the cookie and her feet went through the windows and she's crammed in the house like that. I've outgrown where I am. The facade is fading, alhamdulillah. And I'm at a place where I don't want anything that doesn't have my name on it. Take it away. It serves no purpose here. And I don't want a penny more than I'm meant to have, because
all right, whenever people start talking about I don't want any more money, blah blah blah, that's a lie. That's 100% cap.
Definitely.
That is a damn cap. Like, even if you don't want the money for yourself, you should want the money for your kid. Give your kid a better life. Put them in better schools, better clothes, better a healthy, balanced meal, something. Because when people say I don't want I don't want any more money, like, shut the hell up. What economy, what world are you living in? What part of the US are you living in? Because I guarantee you there was a bunch of people in there that will tell you that, hey, the economy is kicking our ass. The economy is like just crushing us. Like, there's a bunch of businesses going out of business, and there's a bunch of people that have they want to say the jobs report is up or job numbers is down, but there's still people without jobs. So unless you work for the government, that's the only place. Hospitality and the working for the government, those are the only places where you will have plentiful of jobs. But not everybody wants to go work in a hotel or go work for the government. So I don't know what she's talking about when she says, just take it all away. Like, that's broke people talk.
I just thought about this. I remember earlier you said that you think she's grifting, right? Mm-hmm. It only time will tell. I will say this though: if she is grifting, she's going to be in Dubai taking on one of those Dubai contracts in a matter of months. She gonna get flew out. Gross things is gonna happen to her, and she's gonna come back with some money, and that's how a lot of these IG models get paid.
Hey, you know what? Honestly, PJ Washington, he needs to be trying to get full custody. because
Absolutely.
she is one step away from crashing out. And generally, you don't see a lot of people
And
changing.
that'll help her. That'll help her if he
Yeah,
takes custody for a while.
yeah,
But
that's true too.
I'm
And
gonna tell
so,
you one thing, real quick though. That would help her, but a lot of baby mothers hate their baby fathers more than they love their kids.
that's
So
true.
she's not going to be willing to take that step, even though she knows the kid will probably benefit from it.
Yeah, especially that PJ Washington's already moved on, which I mean, everybody knew if you're a basketball player, he just signed a massive contract. So he's definitely going to be successful and he's trying to move on, build his own family. Again, he picked another IG model. So I don't know if he learned his lesson. He apparently learned his lesson the first time, but I hope this doesn't blow up in his face though, because now you'd be 2 for 2 with these IG baddies. But again, PJ Washington, like I said, he should really maybe he is behind the scenes, or maybe he has a 50-50 situation going on, but he should take custody though, because these crash out situations we see with a lot of these IG models, and then we find out that they took a pill bath and then they're gone. And so the signs are definitely there. And Brittany Renner, I mean, she used to be a household name for all the wrong reasons. And now she's trying to regain the spotlight. Like, look, when you get on social media, this is what it's going to do to you. This is why you don't see a lot of Amber Rose, because she got eaten up by the social media and then, being all with all these rappers and everything. And she wanted to try to escape from it. I feel like she's a little bit more removed than what she was before, several years ago. But a lot of these IG girls, at the end of the road, and the road ends around your 30s. It's not nice what you have to do next. The prospect of going back to your job, going back to a regular job. Nope, that's off the table. I found out that people on The Bachelor, or The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, they don't go back to like a regular job. Well, most of them don't go back to a regular job unless they have like a executive position or they own the company. But the majority of them, nope, they're not going back to work. They're like, we're going to ride this out until the wheels fall off. So Brittany Renner, she better take some notes, because ain't nobody trying to hear, you trying to throw, you don't want your name on stuff like blah, blah, blah. Nope, that's forever on the internet, especially that Jackson State thing. And that is a good point, because she should be going around the NFL telling them, like, look, I know how to get you. 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 And you will fumble the bag because of what I have. That's just fucking ridiculous.
And you know what's crazy? She can deliver that conversation and be as brutal as she wants to about it. Somebody will still choose her.
Yeah.
She still has looks, and unfortunately, we're in a space right now where most men don't deep dive women anymore. They just see beauty, think everything is good.
Sure.
They don't do any character checks. She'll get picked up eventually if she wants to be. Somebody is going to extend that hand, and she's going to take it. Yeah. And more than likely, the cycle will repeat itself. Again, I hope I'm wrong, but we know, we've seen history. We know how this story goes.
Yeah, and a lot of times these basketball players, they don't hit these IG baddies up until they get late in the IGs girls, they get late in their 30s, and then you got these basketball players in their 20s trying to bang these IG baddies. Like, hey, I saw you when I was a kid, a teenager, and now I get to bang you. Yeah, I'll do it. I mean, yeah, you're right. They'll definitely go for it. And hey, if you put this chick before your money, then you deserve what happens after that.
Dude, we just solved her financial problems in one quick conversation. I spoke about how she should be talking to the men. You spoke about how she should be talking to women about regrets and social media and stuff. She can get on the speaking circuit and get all the bread delivered, a positive message to young men and young women out there.
Yeah, especially the rookie symposium they have with the NFL and the NBA. Like, that should be automatic. Like, I think Deion Sanders was on to something when he brought her in, because I was like, man, first of all, this is kind of weird, because she posted like, hey, hide your sons. I'm like, these are like 18-year-olds, 17-year-olds. Like, what are you talking about?
She's been on record saying that these gold digging circles she used to roll in, they start tracking these kids when they're like 15 years old, if they have any type of professional athlete potential.
Yeah.
They don't step to them, but they start tracking them and seeing what they're doing and what their tendencies are, and studying them, learning all of their strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah,
man, I don't want any part of that professional. I don't want any part of that celebrity/professional athlete circle, man, because it seems chaotic over there.
Oh yeah. Well, we just talked about Diddy, so yeah, the Diddy is part of the extreme, but people found themselves at those parties that said they didn't want to be at those parties. So,
Did he like the party? But you got to tell him no.
For real.
I can do a lot with a little. The facade is fading. And when the facade fades and all the BS is cleared out, it makes room for what has always been for you.
Oh my God. Well, thank you, Brittany, because you're giving us content. So,
see, she's useful.
Yeah. I mean, the good thing about social media is that it does give everyone a voice, but we get to see kind of like how the hot dog is made, and for some people, it could be inspiring, but other people it could be a terrible experience. And so, unfortunately for Brittany Renner, she was on the top of the world on it, and now she's now she's fallen. So. Not sure what she's going to do after that, though, but we'll be tracking her.
So basically, she's becoming a normal human being who falls and got to find a way to pick themselves back up and keep going.
Yes. Yes, indeed. So, all right, the next one we are going to talk about is the conversation with Tracy Ellis Ross, who was who did a zoom in on Oprah's town hall meeting with Kamala Harris. And there's so much to talk about in that meeting, but I think we're going to focus on the Tracy Ellis conversation, because she said some things that they just don't make sense, especially when it comes to building a family and how we got there. So let me get this pulled up here.
Hi, hello, Madam Vice President. It's just an honor. I actually have never met you, which is crazy. And hi, Oprah.
That was actually funny. I mean, I'm pretty sure they rehearsed that, but yeah, whatever.
We just saw each other the other day. Okay. Oh, hi, Tracy. Hi.
Hi, Oprah. How you doing?
Yeah. This is exciting, though, isn't it? Isn't it exciting?
It's exciting. It's exciting because I believe in democracy. I believe in the future of our country, in reproductive freedom, bodily autonomy, women leading. I believe in decency. The idea of leading with joy and kindness has always been in my DNA, and I'm here both for the seriousness of this election, but the joy with which it is being handled. It is stunning. And then I also really want to remind everybody, it hasn't been mentioned, but voting up and down the ballot is incredible.
You know why she's saying voting up and down the ballot is important?
Because she wants you to vote blue no matter who.
Yeah. And so whenever we have these conversations about, some people will say, I don't just vote for party this, party that. And I think we are at the point where you're probably going to have to vote for party, because I know some people want to say, hey, I want to, look at both candidates, blah, blah, blah. And at this point, once they get their marching orders, they will vote. They'll push everyone to push for all their candidates, because the Republicans are saying it too, which I don't have a problem voting, up and down with the party of choice, though. But this is the thing, when it comes to with Democrats, I can't trust that they will be on the side of they'll be doing reasonable thinking, because when it comes to issues like dealing with trans people in women's sports, or dealing with surgeries or some sort, a lot of them, they get on board with it, but they don't say it out loud. And so that's a problem for me, because if you're with a party that does stuff like that, that's, just because they're blue, and then, they don't, they're supposed to represent your community, but even though your community doesn't get on board with the surgeries or playing in women's sports, or the even, tampons in boys' bathrooms, then you shouldn't vote for that candidate, or your candidate should actually be able to defect from that. But because of how Democrats run their party, if you don't vote that way, they will push you out of the party. And we saw that happen with who was that? that was Jamal Bowman. He got pushed out, and there was another person. I forgot her name, but she's part of the squad, and so she got pushed out as well too.
I'm going to approach this topic. I'm assuming she's talking to all women. Of course she is. This is a Democratic event. But again, this goes back to something I said last week. Single issue voters are my biggest frustration in politics.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I get it. Abortion's important to you. But there's way more important things going on right now. Bottom line is, if you want one, you can still go get one. If you want to have somebody do all that scraping and look, you can still do it. It's not illegal. Go do it. And especially her, she has money. She has resources.
Yep.
So, but they would rather preach that instead of the accountability side of it. And honestly, when it comes to this subject, the only ones I do have sympathy for are the ones who became pregnant without consent.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else, I don't have any sympathy for you. You made a choice. Now, maybe you made the choice and your life was in danger during the process. I understand that one too. I do empathize with that. I'm talking to the ones that are pushing for all this stuff as a form of birth control and then want taxpayers to pay for it. No, I'm good on that.
Yeah, that is.
She said one good thing on there about voting up and down the ballot, but I'm taking it as look at every single proposition that you're voting for, every single candidate and every single race locally and federally. I'm looking at it that way. But I guarantee you, she said that because she wants you to vote blue down the ballot without doing any research.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly. And whenever it comes to the Republican candidates or even voting in general, I look at all the candidates. Like that's how I look at it. Like I'm gonna vote red, but I look at all the candidates and see which ones are going to be a better option for for my vote. Who's going to earn my vote? Who best represents me? But when it comes to Democrats, and there might be some Democrats that do represent me, but unfortunately, because of the party that they're with, I can't trust that they're going to do something that goes against the party, though, because again, we have seen people get pushed out of the party, they get excommunicated, and then you no longer hear from them again. Like I said, Jamal Bowman. I wish I could remember the chick that was. She just lost her seat. The Democrats pushed in another candidate, and they're losing their seats to other Democrats. That should be like a red flag for any of the Democrats. Like you get out of line, they will send people to replace you. And that's the problem with the Democratic Party, that no one talks about, that the Democrats are if you don't toe the company line, or you get too extreme or too progressive, because one way to get them pushed out is talk about the whole Hamas thing. And if you go against that, then they're get rid of you. And so a lot of these Democrats, Democrats for the people, they're not for the people. They're for the party, and the party's ran by a bunch of elitists. And Oprah, who I can't think of a bigger elitist, who's been at the center of so many issues with potential people that have essayed multiple women, just to name a few, Bill Clinton, Diddy, one of the Weinsteins, she's or Epstein, or it's either Weinstein or Epstein, one of the two, Stein or whatever.
Hey, check this out. I just pulled something up on the Caring Network, which is an advocacy group for pro-choice. Mm-hmm. What percentage of abortions in the United States do you think come from Black women?
Oh, I know it's a high number, so it's probably, I want to say it's probably between 15 to 30%.
40%.
Wow, I was under. Holy crap!
Almost half of the abortions in this country are Black women.
Yeah,
but we don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, and we're gonna kind of get into it, because from the header on this video, we're definitely gonna have a conversation about pushing humanity forward.
Your freedom and your daily life are all the way up and down that ballot. People are policies, and we need the right people in all areas, all positions. And then I would like to say to you two women, thank you for what you represent, because as a 52-year-old childless woman, I want to say to the people who think that a woman's worth is measured in her baby count, I mean, shout out to all the amazing mothers, but the childless women have been mothering the world and elevating culture as aunties, godmothers, teachers, mentors, sisters, and friends, and the list goes on. And you do not need to push out a baby to help push humanity forward.
Amen to that.
Okay, no.
So let me. First of all, she just contradicted herself. She essentially said you can be a mother without being a mother. That's number one. Number two, everything that she said about the mentors and the aunts and the teachers, it's admirable, but it's not the same thing as being a mother. Mothers can never turn it off. If you're an aunt or a grandmother or a teacher or a mentor, you only have to deal with those kids for a certain amount of time, and then you get to go back home to your peaceful and quiet life and count your money and enjoy everything that you want to enjoy whenever you want to. These moms is out here sacrificing everything. And for you to kind of compare yourself, and mind you, I'm married, so I see what my wife does for this house. I see the lack of sleep that she gets. I see all the extra overtime she puts in to make sure that the house is clean and I got something good to eat and that her husband is good. And you cannot compare these two. It does not compare. And my last thing I'm gonna say on this is I don't understand why these women who are refusing to have kids have to take these little subconscious jabs at moms and feminine women. Like, I don't get it. Like, what are you trying to accomplish? Like, what was the Chiefs kicker's name that gave the speech after graduation? He was kind of saying, he basically said it's okay to be a stay-at-home mom and a wife. That's admirable. There's pride in that. There is. These are the women we need to be elevating and supporting. If you made the choice to not have a kid, or if you that's your choice. If you can't have kids, that's a different story. But there's no need to compare and put each other at battle like this. It's pointless. It's a distraction.
Yeah. You want to know something funny? I'm gonna pull this back up. I was trying to find a clip on it or with them. So is it weird that let's see. Right here. No kid, and as no kid. So you have 3 prominent Black women who are advocating for abortion rights in the Black community, or at least that's how it's going to be seen. Abortion, and I know white women will get on board with that as well too, because I know the liberal white women, the abortion is a hill they die on. But you have 3 prominent Black women, and I'm calling Kamala Black, even though I don't believe she's black, but that's a conversation for another day. But for Kamala, she is she's never given birth to a Black kid, and then for people to say that she's Black, then she's advocating for abortion for your Black babies. And then you have Oprah, and Oprah never given birth to a Black kid. I mean, maybe she did, but we don't know of. So Oprah's never given birth to a Black kid. And then also you have Tracy Ellis Ross, who has never given birth to a Black kid. And to my knowledge, they've never gone on public and on the record and said they've had an abortion. So have you had an abortion? And then also, why don't you have any kids? Because I never hear anyone talk about Kamala. Why does Kamala have any fucking kids? Like, I don't understand that. Like, you'll ask every man about their kids or why they don't have any kids. Shit, Tim Scott, he was getting pressure to find a woman to marry.
And people were making fun of him for being a virgin too.
Yeah. I mean, you can't being a 40-year-old virgin. That's tough. I can see
it also shows a lot of discipline. I can't be me. Yeah. Look, man, when I was engaged, we went celibate, and I was struggling. I don't know how he does it, but props to him, man.
Yeah. I mean, if you never
here's another thing, though. You talk about these 3 prominent women. I would imagine that they're talking to men too, but which one of them has a healthy dynamic with the Black men?
Yeah. Tracy is single, Oprah is single, and Kamala is married to a whoish gentleman.
In love for you love, don't get me wrong, but
These are the people that we've elevated in the Black community. I don't mean we, like you and I, but these are the people that we've elevated. We've said Kamala's Black because of her dad, and then we've said Oprah, who just got eviscerated a couple months ago over the Hawaii fires, and not to mention her connection to multiple celebrities or presidents that have been connected to SA situations. But they love Oprah now. And Tracy Ellis Ross, Tracy, she's in her 50s. She's living her life. Like, nobody's going to have the life that even for a 50-year-old, nobody's going to have that life that Tracy has. She's amazing at her craft. Nobody's taking anything from her when it comes to acting. She's a phenomenal actor. But when it comes to like talking to like just regular women and 50, like, first of all, you're in your 50s, so kids not even on the tables for you. And for the most part, kids probably been on the tables for you for at least 10 years. But again, none of them ever had the conversation. Have you had an abortion? And why didn't you have any kids? That's what I want to know. Why don't you guys have kids? Or why have you had an abortion? And no one has brought that up on any of these three women who are telling women to go out there and vote and fight for the right for an abortion, knowing that abortion will never be taken off of the table. Abortion will never be illegal. So if you want to get an abortion, your state has pretty strict laws, then that's your state voting for it. So either create a new party or campaign for it. I don't care what you do, or go across state lines. I shouldn't have to go a straight line. Then you should close your legs. That's just what it is. You should just close your legs when it came to like talking about abortion rights or abortion access. I don't know why that's like a difficult conversation, because people don't want to. I don't know if they just don't want to be told by a man that you need to practice abstinence or keep your legs closed. But whatever the situation is, these are the women that are being elevated, telling Black women, and they're also forcing Black men. And I'm going to say Black men. I know there were some white men in the audience, but they're real. Actually, I don't remember seeing like that many Black men. I saw a lot of white men in there, but they're forcing men to be okay with that. And it's like, no, well, I know for the most part in the United States, a man can't tell a woman not to get an abortion, but doesn't mean you can't try. Doesn't mean you can't have that conversation with her. And you should, absolutely. You don't want to have an abortion, then you got to talk to her. You got to have that conversation with her and convince her not to have that abortion. But I'll be damned if these three folks, these elitist folks, are going to tell me or tell just regular people that, hey, you got to fight for your abortion access. None of you have given birth to a Black baby.
So the whole my body, my choice thing, or if you're not a man, you shouldn't be in these conversations. Here's my counterpoint to that. If you're talking about getting taxpayer dollars involved in this, I can say whatever the hell I want to about this because I pay taxes. And I say this is silly and a waste of time. Good point. Unless you got pregnant without your consent, or unless you or the child's life is in danger. Everybody else, I have no sympathy for you. You made your choice. Society has a safety blanket for every mistake that a woman makes. If she goes homeless, there's women's homeless shelters. If she wants to get an abortion, she's got all these advocacies like Planned Parenthood. Meanwhile, if we fail at something, we got to pick ourselves up and figure it out. So again, here's the question. Are we equal or not? Are we equal? Or are you these precious gems that we are supposed to protect, lead, and care for? Make up your mind and let me know, because if we're equal, you're going to get this smoke, and I'm going to tell you no taxpayer dollars for this. No.
Yeah. And one more point on the My Body, My Choice. Back in that the 2020 thing that was going around, who was the party that forced people to either get vaccinated, or you would lose your job, you would lose your position in the military, they would close your business? There was only one party doing that. So that whole My Body, My Choice, it's funny how people forget about that 2020 incident, but they want to talk about when it comes to abortion. Nope, you can't talk about it. Well, you know what? Who else can't talk about it? Kamala, Oprah, and Tracy Ellis Ross. They can't have kids, so they can't talk about it.
Yeah, as far as we know. But then again, this is a distraction. Can we focus on the fact that World War III is coming up?
Yeah.
The economy is trash.
Yeah.
Can we focus on that stuff? Can we focus on the fact that people who aren't even U.S. citizens have access to stuff that we can't even get access to?
Yeah.
Like this is what your number one issue is, really?
Yeah. No, you know the crazy thing? So I look at all the exit polls of the last couple of elections, and the majority of time when it comes to women, and even with the primaries, when it came to women on the liberal side, their number one thing was abortion. And it's like
Yeah.
we're on the verge of multiple wars. The economy, and at the time, the economy wasn't doing the best, and I still don't think the economy is doing that good. And people are still getting blown up at with inflation and grocery prices. But at that time, I mean, people they still say you would think the economy would be the number one issue, or border would be the number one issue. Nope, it's abortion access. That is the hill they want to die on, and also like protecting the war over in other places, making sure that our foreign policies are great. Like, no, this is why America First needs to be something that needs to be in like every classroom, because you need to take care of home first before you can start taking care of people across the world, or people that are coming into the country and they're getting all this access to benefits. And I'd be damned, like abortion's not even in the top 5. I'm sorry. And I know a lot of people are gonna be like, well, you're a guy, you don't care. Like, there's a lot of women that can't have kids. They shouldn't matter either. Like, everybody got upset about, the whole catless thing that with JD Vance. I'm like, well, y'all can't have kids. What if we went to a situation where if you did have kids, that you could vote? But also, I wouldn't think that would blow up in his face, because we do have a lot of a lot of liberal in certain communities that do have a lot of kids. But if you just just say, hey, if you are in a nuclear family, you get this, your vote gets multiplied by however many points. Like, that's what I think people, I mean, I know it'll never happen, but that might be a conversation that needs to happen, though, because those are the people that are impacted the most. And I don't want to see any cream pie bills, the child tax credit. That don't help me. That don't help anybody that can't have kids. That doesn't help anybody that, that doesn't have kids, or they don't plan on having more kids. None of those cream pie bills, they don't help people like us. They don't help people that are not having kids. So you're incentivizing people to, if you don't even have to be a nuclear family, you just single parent home, you're gonna get like $6,000 or something, whatever she's pushing out. And this is why the Democrat Party is as bad for the U.S. and really just the U.S., but also just down the pipeline, because it doesn't help families. It breaks up families, if you want to be honest about it.
Dude, the fact that you just said cream pie during an abortion conversation is wild to me.
Hey, no, but it's absolutely true. I hate them. That's why I was like, so you just giving them $6,000, $10,000? Well, I mean, why stop at $6,000? Make it $10,000 just because they got cream pie? Like, get out of here.
Yeah, man. And I do think medical reform is an important issue, but abortion is a very small percentage of medical reform. There's just so many other things I would add on top of that. But that's a different conversation for a different day.
Yep. All right. We're going to jump to the next topic, which is dealing with Tia Mowry and her home, or her sibling situation. All right. Our next topic is going to be about Tia Mowry. And right now she has a new show coming out, talking about, getting back to dating after exiting her divorce, her marriage, or not her divorce, but exiting her marriage. And it's going to be a very interesting conversation, though, because she brings up her sister, and you would think she would probably have at least from, us regular people looking at their, how close they are, especially their twins, that they don't have the relationship that we thought they did.
Just some speculation. Her sister is married in a nuclear family and building her family, I believe. And I hate to say it, but that might play a part into that. It's such a duty to be in a household like that. And hopefully they work it out. I don't know what the circumstances are behind it, but I would imagine that plays a part in it to a degree.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I have some thoughts on that, which I'll share them as we get further in the video. But let me get it queued up here. Oh my God. She says she got tired. And I know these are just clips and but they put this out. This is from her channel. And so she says she got tired of what people thinking that they were perfect. What the hell does it matter what people think about your own marriage? Like, seriously, what does it matter? And you're a celebrity.
Look, one thing I know about marriage, being married for 15 years. The minute you start caring what other people think about your marriage, and the minute you start explaining your marriage to people, you messed up right off the rip.
Yeah.
Huge mistake.
Yeah. And again, I'm just the way that she exited the marriage, it was such a public event. And I forget her husband's name, but do you remember her husband's name?
Corey something, I think.
Yeah. Hardrick? Is it Hardrick or?
You might be right.
But he just got a 4 or 5 picture movie deal with Tyler Perry, I believe.
Corey Hardwick.
Yeah, Hardwick. Okay. Is it Harvey or Hardwick?
Hardwick.
Okay. Yeah. So Corey Hardwick, I mean, he definitely won. He tried to save his marriage. He did everything visually from what we saw on the public side. He was trying to save his marriage. And, she just wanted to exit the marriage. She just wanted to get out of the marriage and live a life that, that I don't know what she thinks she's going to find out there. And also going on create a reality TV show to kind of like talk about the next chapter in your life. First of all, I thought it was supposed to be like kind of a private thing. When did this become like you got to do a reality TV show behind it? When did it become like a very public display about you moving on to the next chapter? I know some men that have gotten divorced. They feel like shit. They don't want. I mean, they have trouble going on in life. And she's like, you know what? Yeah, I'll do a TV show. Yeah, I'll do a reality TV show. And, my kids are going to see this 10 years later and probably ask, like, Mom, was this all worth it? Like, this is mind blowing to me. This is nasty work.
I got to find this study, but I found a study once that it wasn't necessarily talking about divorce. It was talking about breakups between men and women, period. The women tend to do better in the short term, and the men tend to do better in the long term.
Yeah.
For some reason, it takes us longer to get over these things, despite what the perceptions are. Men take a little bit longer to get over it. We deal with it differently, but it takes us longer to get over it. And I think, at least from what I saw, he was willing to try, make it work one more time, but it seemed like she was ready to move on. So she made the choice. Good luck to her. Good luck to both of them. I think based on the way he acted in that last Tyler Perry movie, yes, I did watch that with my wife. And he did a great job in it. I think that's probably why he got that deal. And I think his career is about to take off even more. So now that he can focus on himself. With her, I don't know, man. Like the harsh truth that we have that people don't realize is men are born with no value and they have to build it up as they age.
Sure. Yeah.
Women are born with all the value. And the challenge for them is to keep it and maintain it because they lose it the older they get. And I say all that to say, and granted, this is just a small sample size. I don't know too many single people who are happy being single. I know single people who don't want to be single, but they can't find what they're looking for to balance what they're trying to do in their life.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to be even harder for her because she's a celebrity.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then her doing this whole public display and talking about dating and everything, that just goes to show you like there's gonna be another simp or some dude that's gonna be like, hey, I know she blew up her family and her husband is still gonna be part of her life because Corey ain't going anywhere. Corey's just gonna be like, hey, I'm still stopping over. Like Corey, that stuff ain't gonna, none of that stuff is gonna happen or you're gonna stop with him. But I mean, hey, be the guy that wants to walk into that mess, knowing the way that Tia is operating as well too, because Tia is like she's going full blown like I don't want to say she's doing something crazy, but I believe this is probably leading to a crash out down the road because I'm not going to watch the show. I'll just probably see if anything trends, but this is probably going to lead to like a big crash out, or at least with the kids, because these kids are going to be in the middle of it. Like the kids have to deal with all the BS and all the stuff that the parents bring, and it's like, was dad that bad to the point where you had to leave the marriage? Because as far as I know, he wasn't abusive, and even though she made more money than he did, it was at the issue that he didn't make enough money, but he's keeping the household going well. He was pretty active with his kids. Like what is it going to take, or what's an issue that that was like, hey, I gotta get out of this marriage. Like, and did you try to work it out with them? Like, that's what I want to know. But I mean, it's not my business to know stuff like that, though. But when people do stuff like that, that's why I start thinking. I'm like, well, did she do any of these things? Was it the best answer was to break up your family, napalm it, and then start a new TV show talking about how you left your old life?
Yeah. And I noticed when I did a quick search on her, the first thing that pops up was a People magazine article from a couple days ago. And she kept using the word happiness in it. Happiness is a choice.
Happy or joy.
So here's the thing that people don't understand about marriage. Your spouse is not responsible for your happiness. You're responsible for your happiness. They should be adding to it, but they're not responsible for it.
Right.
And just based on some of the things that I've read so far, it sounds like she gave the typical "I'm not happy, so I'm out of here" type of thing. And that's an accountability dodging statement, honestly. And a lot of people don't realize. I used to say marriage is hard work, but monogamy in general is hard work. You cannot be lazy and be monogamous. You're constantly thinking about other people. You gotta make sure you don't become unattractive to them and become a jerk over time. Like, this is hard work.
Yeah, get your ass in the gym. Yes, stay in the gym.
And I suspect that's why 50%, possibly more at this point of these marriages end in failure, because you came in not knowing that. You didn't understand accountability. You didn't understand duty and gender roles. And yes, I said gender roles. Bring back gender roles. And I think that's the way society is headed. She's going to be the perfect demonstration of how society is heading right now.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, exactly. And it'll be interesting to see how the kids act on this show. But I know they're not happy, especially nobody wants their business paraded around like that. I'm sure those kids are going to school, but nobody wants any of this. So
yeah, for real.
Get back to it.
Divorce is about starting over.
Oh my fucking man! I just can't deal with this shit anymore.
I'm going to.
This is triggering.
I'm going to extend a branch to her of understanding, because she did make one statement that I kind of get.
But
you have to. People who are married or in long-term relationships, they often wear three hats, especially if they're parents. There's the spouse hat, there's the parent hat, and then there's my own personal hat. And what I notice in people that I talk to, a lot of people who are married and have kids, they got the parent part down, but the other two things get neglected. Or sometimes they have the parent part down, and then they have the spouse part down too, but they totally neglect the myself part. So what ends up happening is they neglect themselves for so long that they start feeling resentful towards their spouse and their kids. So you really have to have a good balance with marriage. Like for example, I'll use myself. I don't like to talk about my private life too much, but one of the things I'll do is we'll take a family trip, we'll take a couples only trip, and then we'll take a solo trip. Like that's kind of you got to find times in these buckets for all three. You cannot neglect all three of these buckets. Otherwise, you're going to be frustrated in your marriage. And to me, it sounds like that's what happened with her.
Yeah. And man, this is so disrespectful. This what is this discount Craig David ass motherfucker? Like, I'm not even a Corey fan like that. And this is who she goes on a date with. This is who she features. This is setting a goddamn statement. This is ridiculous,
like man. Type, or it looks like she has a type.
Her type, Corey Hardy don't look like that.
Man, you're right. Okay.
And this guy actually looks, I can't tell from here because he looks a little bit younger, but for them to lead up, I just want to find love. Take your ass, put the money in that bathtub and take a bath in it. That's what you should do. As long as your kids, this is the thing, and never been married. Just as long as your kids are taken care of, that you're healthy. And I'll give her this. She keeping that thing looking good. She still got it. Sorry.
She does.
I know if someone's going to call me a simp or I'm being thirsty, I don't give a fuck.
Man, ain't nothing wrong with complimenting a woman on her. A simp is somebody who's giving up all their resource, the MEAT acronym. All a simp is somebody who's giving up that stuff to someone who doesn't deserve it. But you just complimenting her on how pretty she is.
Yeah.
She's pretty. But any man who stands on business knows that alone ain't enough. He should be asking questions.
Oh yeah. We
character.
And that was
me and you both know guys who would give her everything she wanted just based on who she is, and not even asking any questions.
And that makes her the most dangerous one, though, because she wrecked her home, and she wants to get back in these streets and wreck whatever situation. Like, and I know that guy probably signed some type of disclosure agreement or whatever, NDA or whatever, but he's jumping into this. He knows what's going on, and I'm like, you still going to do it? This is ridiculous.
He's probably an up and coming actor, if I had to guess.
Hey, you're probably right though. But yeah, this.
What's one of the first things they ask you when you're interviewing for a job? Why did you leave your last job?
Exactly.
We need to start looking at some of this stuff like a job interview.
Well, yeah. And again, she blew up her marriage, but she's gonna have a line of dudes ready to go. And I'm like, man, I'm glad. I want to see y'all crashing out. Matter of fact, I will. Anytime this month, when this guy show up, we're gonna revisit this shit. I want to see what he thought he was getting himself into, because that's the conversation.
Yeah.
She getting back on these streets, you know. She's just trying to find herself. She got a goddamn stripper here.
Good luck. Because I me personally,
I'm trying to find love. Nobody will love me. Yeah. You love some dick. I mean, you finding that like that, but you know what? That is what she's going to find. She's going to find a bunch of men that will like slay her, but that's it. These men ain't gonna bother jump in this relationship, take her serious. And last time I checked, she was talking about love. And this is what, and again, this makes her dangerous, because it sends a message out there that you can blow up your family, and then you can get back on these streets and you can find the right one. That is, if that's supposed to be, I don't know how long they were married, but if that's your soulmate, what makes you think you're gonna find another soulmate? What makes you think you're gonna find the one to be what fucking man is gonna love your kids better than your goddamn husband did? What? I don't know what man. And what if your kids don't like your new fucking boy toy? Well, you know, kids sometimes just don't know yet. I have been on dates with women that have said, hey, if my dog doesn't like you, then, you know, it's a no-go for me. I'm like, you taking fucking relationship advice from your fucking canine? Like, seriously, that makes no damn sense. But they'll do stuff like this. And they'll just say,
many videos I've seen on social media, and it's the same thing. It's these women with these big ass dogs that they can't train or dominate.
Hey.
Cane Corsos or pits. The dog will snap at the boyfriend, and they're just sitting there recording it, just laughing at it.
Yeah. Yep.
Same thing.
Yeah. But again, you know, she's trying to find love. She's going through a hard time. Her sister won't talk to her. Yeah.
Just like she was married for 15 years, like 08 to 23.
Jeez. All right.
I was just about to say I wouldn't be surprised if I saw her on stage with Usher at that.
All right, let me get a few more out of on this.
I'm ready to.
We got all the stereotypes today.
That's who she's taking advice from. No wonder she's going through it. Man, God. Here, let me jump forward. There's a particular scene I was trying to get to. Oh yeah, I can tell. It's been quite a journey. Oh man,
it really sounds like she got so wrapped up in being a wife and a mom that she just ignored herself.
Well, I think for a lot of women, when they in marriages, what I see happening from outside in is that they get bored with it. They're just like, hey, I've done this. Now I want to go be CEO of Nabisco. Now I want to like run for president. Like they just get bored of it. I want to be a state senator. Like they just get really bored of being a successful mom. And last time I checked, being like being a homemaker, or I mean, she's not a homemaker, but being a mom and having your kids under one roof, I thought that was the goal. I thought that was like something that
it probably was until she listened to Kamala, Oprah, and Tracy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she was doing this before, but they are reaffirming it.
Yeah.
Man, it's just.
And she wants to be a modern woman, so I say, you know what? Go be a modern woman.
Yeah.
Do everything you wish you was doing when you was married.
Yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I mean, she's gonna find out, and then the sad part is your kids are gonna have to see all the ups and downs of this. I mean, at some point, I assume they'll probably watch it, but this is gonna be on the internet forever, and so your kids are gonna see, the up and downs in your relationship, and then the mere fact that you guys wanted to like, who thought this was a good idea to green light, like, hey, let's do post divorce, like. Are we worried that this could spawn like a new generation of reality TV shows when we're talking about people's divorces? I can't imagine what let a man do this stuff.
Dude,
They're
people
like,
have
no,
divorce
we didn't
parties
cancel
now.
it.
People have divorce parties now. Like we've already hit the low. Divorce parties.
Yeah,
Celebrating a marriage ending and kids being traumatized.
Yeah. And when people wonder about why marriage were in the decline, this is why. This is one of the reasons. We know why. Exactly. And I know for a lot of people, the way she sold that, they're gonna be like, well, hey, I think that kind of I get that. No son wants to see his mom going through this evolution. That's not his fucking responsibility. He's supposed to be a kid. He's not supposed to be on some reality TV show trying to see how mom get her groove back. That's not his responsibility. He's supposed to sounds like his dad is still active in his life, and that's good. But that home life, I wouldn't be surprised if the son was like, hey, mom, I'm gonna stay with dad, full time or whatever. Like she clearly was the breadwinner in that relationship because of her previous success, which we both loved her shows. But her son, it's just weird that they brought that up though, and they're trying to get ahead of it because they don't want the son, or they're going to ask this question like, well, he didn't feel comfortable, blah blah blah. So you make the little kid that's 6 years old, 7 years old, that kid is comfortable. That makes no sense.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, man. Divorce is tough on kids, and I am speaking from experience with that. And I didn't want no parts of that either. So I totally understand that 13-year-old kid.
Yeah. Yep. All right. And that's where I wanted to get to, because she said two things real quick. She said the first thing was, she thought I was going to have a, mom and dad at home, blah, blah, blah. Well, you blew up your marriage, so you were in control of that. But this other thing is your sister, who is happily married, and does she have kids?
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah. So why are you not close with your sister? You guys were on this TV show. I understand family dynamic is crazy, especially when you get older. And I'm not saying like you need to have like the perfect family dynamic, but it definitely speaks to like everything that's going on, because she brought it up in her show and acted like, oh, I gotta like just give this warm this warm intro on why I don't talk to my sister, because I believe she's gonna call somebody else. But I mean, why are you not calling your sister? Like, your sister's gonna know you better than anybody else, and then you're going through some heartbreak. I mean, why are you not talking to your sister? Is it because you blew up your family? Did something else happen between you and your sister? Like, she's very very elusive, like when she's describing like these weird situations, like with her son, with her husband, or at least the family dynamic. And then here we are with her sister. Like, I don't know if you can even, it's telling me that there's some more that she's hiding. And most celebrities are definitely hiding stuff, Diddy, but she's definitely like, but only letting us see what we want to see. And for most people, they're gonna think this is normal. This is not normal. There's nothing about this.
That's a really good point. She only gonna show you what she wants you to see.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, typically when you do stuff like this, these are typically the same type of people that get offended when you ask them why they got divorced, or they'll say that's not your business, or you're kind of making it everybody's business. Why is it offensive if people ask? It's confusing, man. It really is. And the whole sister thing, I'm going to assume, like I said, she's probably focused on her family and building that structure, and she's probably got some things going on. Hopefully that's the only reason why, because that's something that can easily be fixed at some point.
Yeah, I almost feel like when you are in a happy marriage, and do you allow, is it healthy to have your wife around people that are not married, or people that are maybe they're going through, I mean, they're still in the streets. Like, is that the play? Is that something that you want around your wife?
It depends on the context, but generally speaking, no. I mean, well, misery loves company, especially if it's an ugly situation. That just spreads like a virus, man. It doesn't totally make sense, but at the same time, you kind of have to, like I said, the context is important because we don't know a lot of married people. It's just becoming rarer and rarer. So to set that stipulation is easier said than done.
Sure.
I know some single people that are solid individuals, but I know some who are straight savages too. It probably shouldn't be anywhere near marriage.
Yeah.
So you kind of got to take it case by case.
Yeah. I mean, so we're gonna wrap this up, but last point on Tia, and I'll let you have the last word, MC, is that Tia doing this whole TV show, this is just not the right play for her. I know she's probably gonna get a bag off this, but this just isn't the right play for her. I don't know what We TV is, but you know, they're getting a shout out, or they're getting some endorsements there too. But and I know, and this weird thing with Tia and Tamara is that people love Tia more than Tamara, and Tamara's the one that's like accomplished with the family. It's like almost family's been discounted. So I don't know.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure WeTV's, I think it stands for women. It's something with women. I'm pretty sure it does, and that would further explain it. I don't think it's a male friendly network. So we're going to get her side of the story, and that's all we're going to get. Honestly, if I'm Corey, I ain't talking about this either. I'm gonna put my head down and I'm gonna grind. I'm gonna heal up and I'm gonna get out there. I'm gonna hit the gym, shoot some hoops, hang out with the fellas a couple times, and just chill out.
Yeah,
because he about to take off. I really believe that.
Yeah, Corey definitely is what you should do. Is how you handle these situations. You don't look back. You just move forward. So
yeah, don't slander her. Don't even mention her name. Just keep it moving. That's all you can do. Yeah, We stands for Women's Entertainment. So yeah, I was right.
Got it. Cool. All right. Well, this was a good show, and you know, I hope everyone enjoyed it. Definitely like, subscribe, and you know, we're gonna have more stuff coming out. Anything, MC?
Nah, it was a good one, man. Appreciate y'all listening. Rock out with us.
Yep. See ya.
Peace.